podcast.
The amount of bad news that took place this weekend was one for the books. And obviously I'm going to get to what happened in Australia at Bondi Beach. But to have the next day with this Rob Reiner, terrible, terrible story, to wake up 2 days in a row with just such horrible, shocking news. Rob Reiner, as everybody knows now, and his wife were murdered by their son, which is so far out in such a violent way. Apparently, allegedly, they had their throats slit by their son, and it's just shocking. Rob Reiner was on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. It's one of the best episodes because Rob Reiner is so charismatic, so nice, so giving, so genuine, so humble. The episode that he did with me and all his interviews, he just was I never met Rob Reiner, but he's just such a nice person. The only time I met Rob Reiner was when he was on the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. And like I said, it's in a great episode. And it's episode 1072. And we were talking about so many things. And he was just so generous with his time and so generous with his stories. And some of the things I had heard him talk about before, some of the things I had never heard him talk about. But, you know, what a career. First of all, to see him in All in the Family as Meathead and to play this character of Meathead who was so open and, you know, thoughtful and this, you know, sort of lefty, thinker in that show. And, I don't agree with all the things that, you know, he was talking about politically. But I mean, you could tell he was just a good guy, a loved guy, and a talented guy, and his father, and what his father accomplished. Man, what a shocking, surprising story that is. But to just talk about the greatness of Rob Reiner, again, when he started out as an actor in All in the Family, playing Meathead, which is a part of my childhood. You know, Carol O'Connor and All in the Family and those characters and Edith and Archie Bunker and Meathead and all those iconic moments. That was like must watch TV. And when you see the clips, they're still as poignant and as entertaining and as funny and as sometimes heartwarming and dramatic to this day. But as a director, what a career. When Harry Met Sally might be one of the best movies ever made. Like, my wife considers When Harry Met Sally her favorite movie. That's an incredible movie. And Misery and A Few Good Men and Stand By Me. And of course, I mean, Spinal Tap is game-changing. Such a unique, weird, creative way to tell a story, way ahead of its time, way back in 1984. And the performances that he got out of his actors, all the guys in Spinal Tap, all the kids in Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, they've never, ever, ever, ever been better. And Misery, the resurgence of James Caan, the discovery of Kathy Bates, and telling that story. What a tragic, terrible, scary, frightening, horrible, horrible story this turned into from somebody that brought so much joy. Those films, Spinal Tap, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally, Misery, A Few Good Men, they're so entertaining and they're so joyful. And that's a reflection of who Rob Reiner was. And it's just a tragic, tragic story. And like I said, you know, we had the privilege of having him on the podcast, and it's one of the best episodes I've ever done because of him, because of who he is and what he did, as a person. And like I said, it reflected in his work and the joy and the sweetness and the, I don't know, there's a sensibility about Rob Reiner that it was reflected in, even in the dramas that he directed, like A Few Good Men. But there's just a joyfulness. A joyfulness is really the only way you could put it. When you think about When Harry Met Sally and Stand By Me and Spinal Tap, they're so fun and they're so sweet and they're so endearing and so entertaining. Tragic story to be murdered by your own child. And obviously the child had some mental health issues and some addiction issues, but man, I can't even imagine the rest of his family, because there's 2 other kids, and just what a horrible story for somebody that brought so much joy to the world with his work and his spirit and just who he was as a person. Just a sad story, the Rob Reiner situation.
I am Rapaport Podcast.